Today I'm going to show you my collection of bonsai pots. I have these because I was into bonsai before. I had gotten into it, as I've said before, I've gotten into it about 15 years ago. Maybe a little more than 15, but at least 15 years. And I got out of it about 6 or 7 years ago. And most of my pots that I had bought, I still have. I was just going to go through, show you them. These are all my oval pots. Here we have like a beige one, little one. I had a ficus in this years ago. I remember this is one of my first pots I bought. This one is a pretty nice pot for a little tiny thing. Not sure, I don't know, I don't think I like the green color of it as much as probably I did years ago. But it's still a nice little pot. It's about the same size as that, but a little taller. Here we have an unglazed pot. It's a nice oval. Sounds pretty good. Doesn't have any cracks in it yet, so that's a good one. Now the next four, this one I'll leave last. But these three here are all very similar. I think these two are basically the same pot, different size, because they've got, I mean, everything's exact. I mean, there's the same shape, same feet, just two different sizes, same color. But I mean, the color varies just the way the glaze. That glaze is a glaze that varies depending on how it's done up. So it does have a little variance to it. Put this back here. Now this one looks a lot like them. I don't know if maybe it's made by the same people, and it just has different. I mean, the main thing is different. The shape is exactly the same as these two. The color is like, if not the same, very close, but the feet are different on this one. And this one is one I need to clean up a little bit. I just recently cleaned. Some of these were put away dirty, and some of them just got some buildup of stuff that I'd have to get something to, like something to scrub it a little, give it a little bit of scrub. It's just got buildup over the years of using it that wasn't cleaned off all the way. So this one, I have a tree plan for this. This will be put in this will have the Japanese maple I just recently got that I want to kind of recreate the tree that used to be in this. It was a Japanese juniper, and it had like a dome shaped, and the new one's gonna have like a dome shaped, and I've showed that in a video. But it's a nice pot. It's unglazed. I like this pot. This would have to be my favorite pot. It's also my most expensive pot. It again needs to be scrubbed a little bit. This was cleaned, but not cleaned completely. It's got some buildup on it. But it's my biggest pot. I used to have a pretty tall red Japanese maple in this. So I don't know what I'll use this for, if anything. I mean, none of these trees, only a few of these I have plans for. If I think a tree will work in it, I'm going to use it in it, but I'm not going to use the pot just because I have it. I think a tree really needs to go with its pot. Okay, here we have my rectangular pot. These two over here, I don't think much of the quality of them. This one is actually, I will not be using this one outside because it's got a little bit of cracking on the outside edge. It's not enough that most of it's not falling apart. There was one little piece that fell off here. it doesn't look that bad, so I may still, because this side is good. I'm thinking about possibly using this for my Portulacarry Afra landscape, multi-tree thing. I think this would go good. Have to think about it a little bit, but if it's going to be used inside, I'm not worried about it cracking further on the long term. I mean, it's been sitting around for years and hasn't really cracked any more than it originally did, and that was most likely from the winter. I just don't think this is you can see it's got a faint thud. It's not the best quality pot I have. This one again, another one. It's not cracked any, but it's similar material, and I don't think it would be a hold up good for a long time. So it's a little, and it's heavy. It's a thick pot. I'll put these over here. This one is a small one that's got some details on the corners. I really like that. And the details come out on the sides. This one's got like looks like little panels on the sides. It's just square, nice lip. This one is kind of similar to that one. All three of these are unglazed, but this one's, it's got a different, as you can see, it's a different pattern, but it's a similar pattern. Where the edges are raised, this is indented in, but it's got a very similar edge. It's just a little bigger. Now this one I'm not exactly sure of. It doesn't sound the best. As you can hear, some of these have nice rings to them. This doesn't have the best of rings, but it's better than those two, and I think it's different material than those, different clay that it was made out of. I think it doesn't seem the same, and it's good quality, but the red ones red clayed ones haven't always had the best results with them. I had one that just totally was like one of those two, and it just totally disintegrated over one winter. But yeah, there are those. Now these two pots don't really belong in oval. They're not really oval. They're not really rectangular. This is a Cascade that I used to have a small juniper in. I think it's unglazed. It's a nice pot. I will probably be getting a small juniper and putting that in there again. So this one is a very odd shaped pot. I really like this one. Yeah, that's something stuck to it. It's a little stained on the inside. You can see here it was all green inside. It got stained, but it's in good shape. Don't know what I'm going to use that for this time. I think I had Japanese maples. I think I had 3 Japanese maples in this before, but I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it this time and when it'll get used yet. Okay, and here are the only 3 pots that I have anything in. You have actually seen them on film before. These 2 have my Portulacarry Afras in them. This one's got my Chinese elm. But this one is kind of a very elongated oval. It's an alright pot. I'm not a big fan of it. It's again, I think it's made out of the same ones, those low quality rectangular ones I have. It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's thick. It doesn't have the greatest finish to it. It's not the greatest. This is a pretty decent pot. It's kind of an oval in essence, but it's just kind of got this to it. And I thought I like this one for this just because it kind of reminds me of looking down at one of these. It's got the one here and then the others here. I just thought that was neat, and I like this pot. It's a nice pot. It seems in pretty good shape. And then this is one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites. This green one that I put the elm in. This one, I'm not sure it's staying in, the elm's staying in this. I kind of like it in this. I like the contrast between the curviness of this and the rectangular edge, the straight edges of this. I like that in some trees. So this is the only one that's definitely staying in this pot. That's where I plan to keep that for good, or until it grows out of it and I need a bigger pot. This one I'm still not sure. So there's my collection of bonsai pots. Some of them may get used as temporary pots, kind of like training pots at times. I'm not bothered by using a somewhat nice pot as a training pot. Temporary if the tree needs a pot and I'm not using it for anything else. And I'm sure I'll be buying more pots down the line as I need pots for trees. So thank you for watching. Possibly you could subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you next time.